Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Just wanted to bring you a quick update on the state of the Amazon seller in April 2020. I feel like a news reporter. Quick update. So the word up until now was that April 5th was the date, right? Send stuff in April 5th, no problem. Well, it's now April 8th, and I wanted to cut to a quick scene in my computer here and show you what happens when you try and create a shipment. So as we can see here, we're clearly not able to yet. So what does that mean for us? Well, they've essentially been following the footsteps of the government, right? So the government has officially kind of extended quarantine for about 30 days. So Amazon is essentially following those same footsteps. We've gone from April 5th to, they walked back on that and said about the end of April now to be able to send in inventory. On the flip side of that, the good news is, and I tend to be a eternal optimist, so this is really all I'm focusing on, that it's on an item by item basis. So there's actually more categories that you can sell in, a lot of ungated categories you can still send shipments in for, including industrial and scientific, baby, pet supplies, beauty and personal care. So those are actually some categories that I could think of really good products in. So I'm going to be doing a product research video specifically about this, trying to find products that we can source right now. Because I think you need to hold your head high as, an entrepreneur. We tend to look at this, at least from my perspective, in different ways than others. People by human nature tend to think that when things are good, they're always going to be good, and that when things are bad, they're always going to be bad. But it's never the case, right? You can actually look at the stock market, you can look at anything. Pretty much everything is cyclical, right? There will always be highs and lows, and directly after a high or a low will be the next one in the sequence, right? So if we're low now, there's nowhere to go but to go high. And if we're high, for instance, a year ago, everyone was saying the economy is the best it's ever been. Well, in my head, reading books like Big Debt Crises by Ray Dalio and Principles by Ray Dalio, I know, hey, that only means one thing. Probably getting close to the point where it's going to be going down because it can't keep going up infinitely. So we have to look at this as an opportunity. At least that's how I'm looking at it. You can choose to look at it however you like. But if you want to look at things as an opportunity or as a disadvantage, you're living in that reality. So you're literally creating a reality. If I'm looking at this as an opportunity, someone else is looking at this as a disadvantage, we're living in two different worlds, right? I have a smile on my face and I'm talking about it, and I can think of all these ideas I could come up with and how that I could work around this, and they're sitting there doing nothing, saying nothing can be done. So both are true. Whichever one you choose to believe will be true. So I hope that you make the right decision. Going forward from here, we have about 22 days left until the end of April. We'll see if we could send stuff in then. Even if it gets extended a little bit further past that, it's still not an issue to me. Because again, like I said, there's a lot that we can be doing right now, from optimizing our listings that we currently have, or maybe you're a new seller and you're wondering, how is this going to impact you? As someone who hasn't done anything yet and wants to get started, well, take this as an opportunity to overlook your research. Maybe you were going to take action a little too fast. Some of you may be action oriented and you might have a bad product idea. Well, go take this time to analyze everything, all the search volume compared to how many listings there are, and go see what you can find. The second way we can look at this as an opportunity is that this is like the first time in history that this has happened to Amazon. There's almost been like a cleanse, right? It's like all these listings were building up, all these categories were getting saturated. There are huge markets that have lost 60, 70, 80% of sellers because they've gone out of stock. Now, if those sellers happen to not have inventory on the way before this happened, they're gonna lose a lot of rank, and now people like you and I can come in and maybe get into a market like coffee filters or fitness and exercise equipment right now is going crazy because gyms are closed. You could look into an area as competitive as yoga that wants yoga blocks, something like that, or weights, something that might never have been an opportunity for you, and go in there and actually claim your spot, and then when that market rebounds, be up in one of those top positions. So that's just the way that I'm thinking right now about this whole process. I'm taking this on a step-by-step basis, but to be progressive going forward, what I'm doing is I'm saying, well, what categories can I sell in? Industrial, scientific, beauty and personal care, and pet supplies are three of the main ones that I can still send inventory in and create new listings for. So that's an awesome opportunity, right? Those are maybe categories that, since I'm forced to take a different perspective from, I might find products that I never would have found to sell. On the other hand, there's also many other options you can do. You can pursue FBM, which is fulfilled by merchant. There's nothing stopping you from ordering 50 units of something from DHK or Alibaba, shipping it to your house, making the listing, collecting orders, collecting sales, collecting money, and then shipping the customers their products, right? You could collect orders, maybe part of your new routine if you live near a USPS, or well, I guess those might be closed, but near a UPS, go and ship your orders out to your customers, right? There's nothing stopping you there. So the way that I like to look at things like this, again, is an opportunity. I would encourage you to do the same thing and look at this as an opportunity to grow. You know, you can't grow unless there's a force acted upon you. I think there was a study done once. They tried to grow trees in like an environment like Mars, where it was kind of all sealed off. There was no wind to force on the trees, the trees sway. So without that external pressure being put on the trees, they collapsed. Their roots didn't have to be trained to grow deep enough, so the weight of themselves carry them over. Don't let that happen to you. Let this external force drive you into your own growth. And a lot of the times, this is where many millionaires will be made, when people like people that have the right mindset, look at this and go, let this drive me further instead of tearing me down. Quick update on additional factors to remember. Long-term storage fees are being waived. Those would have been April 15th, I believe those would have been collected. They're being waived until further notice. And also, if you're part of Amazon lending, loan payments are being waived as well, so you don't have to make those. If you know what that is, if you don't worry about it, because it doesn't apply to you. But going forward from here, you'd expect to see a lot more of me. Like I said, I'm gonna be venturing out and looking how we can treat this as an opportunity. So if you appreciate that mindset and want to follow along on that journey, feel free to subscribe down below. I'd love to have you, and leave a like on this video as well. But as always, guys, I'll see you here on the channel for another video tomorrow, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Later.